Well, Graeme, another week and another cancelled game. How much of a disappointment was it not to play against Tranmere? Because it was a chance to bounce back, wasn't it, from a tough defeat to Mansfield on Boxing Day?
Yeah, exactly. It hasn't left me at the Mansfield game. So you want that next game. We got the preparation done. Unfortunately, the day before, we're just going into our final preps on the sessions and got the call to say it was off. So yeah, it is disappointing because, like you said, you're thinking about the previous game. You want it out the system. You're doing all your work to try and go towards Tranmere. You do all your prep work, and then all of a sudden it gets pulled from you. So it's disappointing for us all. We want to play games. That's why we know it's busy this time of year, but we want to be playing games.
And just going back to that previous game, how have the players and yourself reacted to that setback? Because I'd imagine it was pretty difficult to accept throwing away a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, no, look, we've gone through the game. We've spoke to the players numerous times. You're 2-0 up. We said after the game, we've got to be better. We've got to keep doing the things. We've got to keep being on the front foot and trying to stop teams coming at us. And we invite them on too much. And it wasn't just the goals. It was the parts before that what allowed them to get in them areas. But then, like I said, the goals, we haven't defended our own box on 3 occasions, which we did in the first half. And like I said, you're 2-0 up. It's not acceptable to lose a game.
And of course, Tranmere Rovers, who had the cases, the forced postponement on the 29th. But how are Bulls doing on the COVID front? Have you had any more positive cases recently? Yeah,
we've got a few. So we're managing it. You come in each day, you're doing your tests, and you're just hoping that there's no more. We're taking all the precautions you have to take, but like I said, it's out of our hands. Each day the lads will come in, we'll do our tests, and for hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll do them again this morning, and if everyone be on the training field, hopefully.
Are you pleased that there's no more testing on the day for both fans and yourself?
Yeah, look, you do all your prep, you want the game to go ahead, but obviously we have to be cautious of the safety of everyone who coming to the game or in the game, but everyone wants the games to be going ahead. So we like I said, we're doing all the precautions we can. We're following the guidelines, and hopefully, like I said, we'll get the fixture ahead.
Yeah, fingers crossed that you stay COVID free, because it's a busy week coming up with 3 fixtures at home, of course. So it could be a very exciting start to the year for those fans, couldn't it? Yeah, look,
we all want an exciting time of the year. We've got a massive game tomorrow. We're going to be giving everything we can. And like I said, and the focus, first and foremost, is Oldham tomorrow. It's a tough test. So, look, we want to get on the pitch. We all want to get on the pitch. We've been doing the work from the Mansfield game, and we're excited to get on the pitch. And it's all about tomorrow, really, before we focus on the next 2 games.
And on Oldham, they're struggling at the very bottom of the table, of course. How tough a game will it actually be against them? Because obviously they're fighting for their lives now.
Yeah, look, I've said to you before, there's not one easy game in this league, in any league. We've got to focus. We've done all our prep on Oldham and what they can offer, but we've got to focus on us. We've got to be at our game. Every single player's got to be on their game. We can't have anyone switching off. If we're at our game and we're on it, then we'll give ourselves a great chance to win the game.
Gavin Holland made an impact off the bench on Boxing Day. Possibly could have had a goal, should have had a goal. Is he edging closer to make his first start?
Yeah, look, I've said before, they're all training at a good standard. There's been areas I've looked at, all different players who can improve and do certain things. But Gav's, he came on and impacted the game. I've seen what he can do, and hopefully, like I said, he'll be in the starting lines very soon.
And of course, the transfer window is reopening. You've mentioned in the past your desire to bring players in. Can Bulls fans expect transfers to happen immediately, or will it take some time, do you think?
We're doing a lot of work. We are doing a lot of work. Obviously, the games, you've got your preparation for the games, but we are doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and we're trying to bring in. Ideally, we want players in as early as we can, but we don't want to rush, like in the sense of just bring players in for the sake of it. But we are doing a hell of a lot of work to try and bring players in as soon as we can. Yeah.
Of course, this time of year you can reflect on the previous 12 months, and 2021 at Hartlepool, well, it was an incredible year filled with talent, obviously on and off the pitch. You were from the outside looking for the majority of it, but how good is it that this club is now competing back in the Football League? It's everything.
It is everything. I remember sitting watching the final at home with my little lad and jumping around us. So I was at the game. It was it's where they belong. It's where they've been. It's since I've been like I said, I left school and joined Hartlepool, and they were in the Football League, and that's where, and the fans, what we've got, the fan base at the moment and the support, they deserve to be in the Football League. And like I said, now it's our job now to make sure we push on.
And you've been in the job exactly a month now, and it's been a pretty hectic 4 weeks, I may say. But how do you assess your time so far? Are you satisfied with what you've managed to achieve so far?
If you went on my sleepless nights, probably not. No, it's no. I've been in a month, and I have got a plan to reflect after a month, but it's busy. It's a busy time at the moment. I had my plans to come in to try and tighten things up as much as I could and keep us in games, and then it's about us moving forward now. So, yeah, look, results-wise, positive. Obviously, the disappointing one on Saturday, but I know there's so much more to come. It's just, like I said, the first month I've tried to come in. I've not tried to change a hell of a lot. I've just tried to see how things go. But now I'm time to reflect, and after a month, and then it's where I want to move forward from now, and that's my next plan.
And talk about moving forward, what are your hopes and aspirations for Phils in 2022? Do you think it could be another progressive year for the club?
No, that's a plan. I think from where they've came last season to where we are at the moment is good, and it's a foundation, but we do need to build. I want to keep moving forward. We all do. That's what I've come to the club for. We want to keep moving forward as a club. There's ambition from the chairman, and there's backing there. So we want to progress. We want to keep growing, and if we're doing that and we move forward and we can bring the right ones in the January window, then hopefully we'll be pushing up the league.
And just finally for me, how excited are you about the challenge ahead?
I'm loving every moment of it. It's a challenge. It is a challenge. It's fantastic, but like we're loving every moment of it. It's like I said before, coming in was an absolute dream to come into this role, and now it's about me now making sure it's a success.
Great stuff. Thanks a lot, Graeme.
Thanks very much.
Morning, Graeme. You okay?
Morning.
Just touching on that as well. You know, your first month in charge has been about reflection and self-analysis. Perhaps have you drawn up any conclusions on your own kind of performance as a manager, and where to improve on and where not to improve on?
I think you're always working and reflecting on yourself. It's like I said before, I have many sleepless nights. I think you have more sleepless nights you do have more sleepless nights when you lose games. But every day I wake up, there's things in my head. I'll be putting notes down what I should be or could be doing or I need to do or make sure I need to do. So you're always trying to improve. You're always trying to reflect and make sure you're getting the right messages and right ideas and right things put on the pitch. It's what I do during the week is going to be reflecting from the players what they do on the pitch on a Saturday, and that's what hopefully we're trying to do as much as we can. It's like I say, it's been a month now since I've come in, and I've mentioned to staff that I want to sit down and reflect a little bit on where we are and what we want to do and how we want to move forward.
Has the month flown by, do you think?
Now, yeah, when you say a month, it has. But then I also feel as though I've been in the job for quite a while now. So, yeah, it has. Yeah, it's been a fantastic month. But it's like I said, there's so much to look at and reflect on and to work on. And like I said, my role is to make sure we're successful on that pitch, and that's what I'll be aiming to do going forward.
And the response of the players as well. I mean, a lot of change for them, a lot of new things to take on board. How do you think they've handled you and the rest of the team coming into as well?
Look, the response on the training field has been fantastic from the lads. It's like I said, with Tony Sweeney and Jake Simpson still being in the structure, what they've been used to, and the same principles on around the building and the schedule side of thing hasn't changed a hell of a lot for them. It's just a few little tweaks from us on the training field and different things. But like I said, the first month it wasn't about coming in and trying to change the world. It was just trying to assess and look where we can move forward. And like I said, after a month it's time to reflect on that and make sure I can reflect and find some more positives and more input to what we can do with the lads. But the response of the lads on the training field has been fantastic.
With regards to Andy Sweeney, I remember you mentioned him. He's in talks with the club about his future. Is there any developments you can give us on that?
Not a lot. It's obviously a busy time at the moment for the club and different things, but it's they're in talks, and hopefully, like I said, it's Tony will tell you more, but hopefully things can get resolved as quick as possible.
to bring the conversation back to events off the field. COVID is kind of decimating the fixture schedule, as you know. Are you worried about a backlog of run of games for you and the players? And there's all sorts of things you have to think about with this.
Yeah, look, the schedule was going to be busy through this period of time. We've obviously the Tranmere game getting called off, but then the fixtures are getting added behind that. So the fixtures are coming thick and fast. We know that, and we've tried to discuss where we could put the games. Well, we'd like to put the games, but then the league want them done as soon as possible. So I can understand where they're coming from, because there might be another further cancellations and they need to be fitting. So we know there's going to be a backlog, or there is going to be fixtures added in, and it's going to be busy. But it's not just us; it's every team's going to have to be doing it. And unfortunately, we're going to have to deal with it. It's as long as we can just try and get some games, like I said, fingers crossed, the games after testing today from both clubs. Hopefully, the game goes ahead tomorrow.
And in terms of your transfer policy for next month, what sort of things are you looking at? Loans? Are you looking at permanence, or is it kind of a combination of both?
Bit of combination. Ideally you want some permanence, so we're getting a foundation for what we want to bring in. But look, we're looking everywhere and anywhere at the moment. We've got targets we're speaking to, we're trying to bring in. We're not rushing in the sense of like just bringing someone in for the sake of bringing somebody in, but we are like in talks all the time, trying to bring. We want people in as soon as we can in January, but I think every single club in the country wants to do the same thing. So we're progressive with talks at the moment, and hopefully we can get a few done as soon as possible.
Okay, so that's
Thank you. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Hey, Graeme, how's it going?
Aye, good, mate. You?
Yeah, not bad.
Good.
Do you expect any breakthroughs with the transfer stuff anytime soon?
Hopefully, but like I said, transfers, we all want to do it as early as possible, but there's lots of conversations to be had and lots of things what could get in the way. But we're progressive all the time. We're on the speaking, we're watching, we're speaking to different clubs all the time. So things are moving. It's just like I said, everyone wants probably things to move faster, but we are moving forward with things, and it's like I said, it's getting the right ones in.
I noticed that Chris Wilder had been talking about you talking to him as well, saying you'll have to go through the same process as every other manager. Have you been on the phone to him since?
I speak to Middlesbrough and members of staff at the club, and just keep myself making sure I'm up to date with what's going on. But look, they have their plans for the players, which I know because I was there. So they'll have certain plans for certain players to go out. They'll have certain plans for players to stay in. We've made inquiries, and like I said, it's obviously every club's difficult at the moment. There's a COVID outbreaks, and I think clubs are a bit more reluctant to give certain players who could actually end up being a fringe player or a player who could impact their first team. So we're speaking all the time, but like I said, we're speaking not just to Middlesbrough. We've got targets all around the country. We're speaking to other clubs, but it's like I said, we want to be in a rush and we want to bring people in, but we have to be patient as well.
Do you feel rather that there might be a little bit of pressure on you to bring players in, given that there's quite a lot of talk saying that there is a budget there, and just how more you are about wanting players?
Yeah, I think it's just, as a club, we want to show that we're ambitious and we want to move forward. But like I keep saying all the time, it's if we're going to bring players in, we've got to bring players who are going to improve us on the pitch. So it's bringing right players in. Lads at the moment are giving everything they can on the pitch and giving everything on the training field, which is fantastic. So we just want to try and add to that and bring the right personalities in, not just the right players who are going to impact the changing room in a positive way as well.
One player you've been asked a lot about in recent weeks is Tyler Bury. Obviously came on last week. Could you just give us an update on what his contract situation is? Because I understood that his loan was just until the beginning of the new year.
Yeah, it was. We've inquired. We've requested to extend his loan. Millwall, I've asked the question again today because Millwall, have we all seen but a 15-year-old lad on the bench and brought him on because their numbers are low, so they're assessing their squad. So we're just waiting for that answer. We've requested to extend it till the end of the season. If we can, brilliant. But if, like I said, we're waiting on Millwall because obviously the situation, what's going on, every club has to assess their squads before they can give the green light.
Moving on in terms of the COVID stuff, just on a little bit there. One thing I do want to ask about, you the games get called off, especially high levels, it seems to be coming into the statements now, COVID and injuries. I just wonder what your thoughts are on that. Is there no teams might be hiding behind injuries? Or?
You'd like to think not, but you can imagine if there's a few key injuries in certain clubs, there might, but I couldn't answer on that. You like to think we all want to get games going ahead. We've got a couple of illnesses and injuries within the squad, but only a couple of COVID, so as long as our squad's big enough, we'll be fielding its opportunities for the players that come in. So look, I can't judge on what other teams are doing higher up. I understand the frustrations or the situations with what's going on. It's a tricky thing, obviously, with the COVID. People who have had it, it's can you put them straight back in the team? Can they go straight back in for the safety of the players? So there's so much to consider regarding it. It's like I said, I think we all just have to reflect and make sure the safety of the players and everyone else is first.
On your players, there's a couple I want to talk about ahead of tomorrow. You mentioned illness. I think Jamie Stewie went off with an illness last week. How's he doing? Yeah,
he came back in yesterday, so that's a positive for us. He's like I said, he was struggling at half time. They said to us he was really struggling. We tried to get a little bit more out of him, and unfortunately, when we scored the goal, I think he just said, I can't continue. He went back in the change rooms. He was sick and other stuff I won't talk about. So, so yeah, it was frustrating because obviously you just go 2-0 up and then you lose your right wing back, who's, like I said, he's a key player in that position. If it threw us, if that would have changed the outcome of the game, we don't know. But it's just, like I said, it was hard. But like I said, you can't have someone on the pitch who's struggling illness wise. So. But he's back in, which is a positive.
Tom Crawford missed out altogether. Was he possibly one of the ones COVID related?
Yeah, he came back in like a few of the lads, but the responses on his heart rate and things, even though he thought he was all right, he's in training, it was spiking too high, which the safety of Tom was we took in consideration that it wasn't worth, in the sense of pushing him through anything what's going to cause him or could cause him something seriously harm. Yeah, Matty, there was, like I said, we had 4 who had been off the isolation time. We looked at the responses in training, and it was about trying to manage which one played, which one didn't, and like I said, Matty at half time was a little bit struggling. Again, we got a little bit more out of him, and then we had to make the changes.
Moving on, I know you'll be focusing on the Oldham game, but I just want to jump forward into next week as well, the 2 cup games. Certainly the Papa John's Trophy game, I know a lot gets said about that competition, but at what point does that become a bit of a priority in terms of with the carrot of Wembley at the end of it? Yeah, look,
it is, but I've got a good squad and a big player, and I've already been putting teams down what I'd look at what could go into that game, and even looking at the team and what I put down, there might be a few changes, but it's still exciting for when I look at it on paper. So we want to win. We want to win the game. So that's one of my highlights of my career, is winning that trophy. So yeah, we each game we go into, we're going to, like I said, we want to win the game. And like I said, we've got 2 fantastic games next week to go into. But first and foremost, Oldham's the main priority at the moment.
Is there any of them 2 games that you prioritise in terms of the 2 cup games?
Look, both games are exciting for us. And 2 different things. Like I said, we've got a chance to go to Wembley and won. Well, I'll laugh say we've got a chance on both, but both games are exciting. Both games are exciting, and both games will be going out to try and win.
And just last one for me, talking on your 2022 aspirations for the club. Have you got any for yourself? Any resolutions?
No, look, that. My mind's been just on one thing at the moment, and my aspiration is to make this a success and give everything I can for this club to keep moving forward. And like I said, and that's my main focus is the success of Hartlepool United. And if that's my resolution, that's what it is. But yeah, that's my main plan. My main focus is Hartlepool United.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.